Hello everyone and welcome here. We are going to do some wild and wacky things today. This is competitive modern magic at its finest. We are playing a 249 card deck containing 0 lands. So this is basically, some of my favorites that we played on the channel all smushed together. We get to play Battle of Wits. We get to play the Oops All Spells list that wins with Spire or Undercity Informer. And we get to play Blue Belcher. We're not all in on Tamishi and, where is he? There he is, Tamishi and Lotus Bloom, but we are playing both of them. And we are playing Force of Negations and Pact of Negations and Whir of Inventions, so it's basically Blue Belcher with a few extra cards. Obviously, it will take a while to go through this deck list. We're not going to talk about every single card choice. I did not build this all 100% myself. I took a list off the Discord and made some changes to it. But I kind of liked where it was. We have a little energy sub-theme with Tune the Narrative and Discharge and Wrath of Skies. We have a lot of ways to tutor, especially our spies. But I will jump into, if you want to jump forward to gameplay, that's fine. I'll talk about this a little bit. I'm not going to go, like I said, I'm not going to go super into depth as to how it all works. I have a Battle of Wits video. I have an Oops All Spells video. I have Belcher videos. So if you need to understand how the cards work, go ahead and watch those. I'll link them in the description. But we're doing that all at once. So real quick, we want Undercity Informer or Spy to be lethal if at 4 mana. Undercity Informer obviously needs the 1 more mana to trigger, but is a 3-drop. Spy comes in with the ETB. So the Vengevine and Creeping Chill line works there, where we get the Sword of the Meeks back on Narcomoebas, and then we end up casting, where is he over here, the Salvage Titan to get our Vengevines. I am playing the Nexus of Fate for a couple reasons. It's a blue card. It's pretty easy to fit 1 extra card when you have 249. It could be relevant to cast at some point, but it means that we don't have to use Jack-o'-lantern and Memory's Journey to not die. But we are playing those cards, just because also sometimes Memory's Journey, if we have the Vengevine line, or we have the Spy line, isn't enough to kill, say against a energy opponent who's gained a bunch of life, then we can win with Thoracle or Lab Maniac. And so the Nexus of Fate trigger means we have like a turn technically of drawing a card, but we can still Memory's Journey in the upkeep and put Oracle or Lab Maniac in our deck. There'd be 2 cards in our deck, so we'll have to survive a turn, but I think it's worth it just for the sometimes where we get the extra turn. But obviously, Belcher is lethal. There's no lands in the deck. Battle of Wits lethal if we survive to the upkeep. And then we have lots of ways to get it. So we have a lot of cards. I put all untapped sources here. So we have 56 untapped lands, 38 tap lands. Most of the tap lands are kind of in Grixis colors. Splash white. Green is our least played. I'm scrolling here. It's just taking a while. We have a couple Bella good recoveries. But green is kind of the splash. Obviously, when we're not playing any fetch lands, we can't be a super consistent 5-card deck, or 5-color deck, but we are a 5-color deck. We obviously major on blue, black, and red, though. And so then, for untapped sources, though, we do have the green ones just because we want as many untapped sources as possible. And then here, 42 cards are just ramp cards. So we're playing the blooms. We have rituals, Metamorphose, Strike It Rich. The reason why we're playing 4 Metamorphose is for recross lines. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Scroll down, we got the Pentad Prism, the Transformers, which again kind of goes with our little energy sub-theme, and a bunch of Talisman. Again, the Talisman tend to be more of the Grixis colors, but like we have the Hierarchy ones, we have Dominance, we have Curiosity. It's a pretty good spread here. Just 1 Resilience, 1 Progress, 1 Impulse. And again, these numbers might not be 100% correct, and maybe we should just play more Talisman. We want a decent amount because we want Beseech the Mirror to be able to sack 1. We can also sack a Strike It Rich token if we need to. don't think there's any other things we have that can really set up for the Beseech the Mirror line. So, but the nice thing about Beseech the Mirror is that it can actually go get Belcher if the graveyard isn't viable. But obviously, we usually use it to go get Balstrude Spy. So just to keep that in mind, it can. Then we're playing Whirs, Wargates in a split. I kind of majored on Whirs just because they're instant over the Sorcery Speed Wargate. Obviously, it might be better not to play any Imperial Recruiter and play more Whir, more Wargate. It might be better to not play Fave Witches at all and play more Wargate and Whir. But Fave Witches can get basically everything in our sideboard except a couple. We're playing a couple artifact lands. I don't know if you saw, we are playing Karn as well. So this is a Karn / Wish board. We have this one memory in Battle Wits as win cons over here, and then Karn we have kind of a standard Karn board, but plus the lands because sometimes we just need that 5th mana source to resolve a Bring to Light or something. Bring to Light notably can't get Battle Wits itself, and it can't get what's it called? Goblin Charbelcher. So we're usually using this to go get Balstrude Spy, but we also are playing some number. I don't know where I put them. Selective Memory. Which I did consider building this deck without memory or Recross the Paths because resolving that online or even in paper would just be such a pain. But I was like, if I'm not playing Recross the Paths, it kind of makes green useless. Like, green then becomes only useful for our calls, lights, Wargates, and occasionally casting a Vengevine. It's like, well, I could make this a 4-color deck, but then it makes like the untapped green sources less good, and so maybe this should just be 4-color. But I like that Bring to Light is a win con. It can get Spy, it can sometimes get Memory. I like Call because it curves very well into Spy Informer. Instant speed, right? And so we're playing it. We're playing Recross the Path. We're playing Selective Memory. I don't know how that's going to go, but obviously with Recross, we have a couple one-ups over here, like Reforge the Soul. And Ironcrag Feet with the Rituals can be a win con. Recross is almost always going to use Reforge the Soul. But we can have the upside of being able to throw Pacts and Negations in there, or Offer You Can't Refuse as ways to generate more mana. We're playing the one of, there it is, Engineered Explosives as a target for Offer You Can't Refuse. We also have the one Profane Tutor. I'm trying to think. I guess it's there as a Bring to Light con, but what would we Bring to Light for that we wouldn't? Anyways, like I said, I copied the list. I guess you can Profane Tutor for the Battle of Wits, where you can't get that with Bring to Light. And also, if we're stuck on mana colors, if we only have 3 colors, I guess if I have 3 colors, I'm probably just getting Informer though. But there are instances where we'll want this, and maybe Profane Tutor could just be a 4 of, right, that we suspend and hope to survive and get to cast. But we have Unearth and Jolted Awake, right? Those are ways to get back the Oracle or Lab Maniac. After a Spy trigger, we got the One of Subtlety. It's something we can grab with Call in response to something, which is nice. It's about all our one-ups. So we have the Verdict. Sometimes you Bring to Light to Verdict, and that's going to just set energy back enough for us to win a game where we Spy might not be lethal. Everything else over here is part of the combo, basically. One combo or another. It covers the gist of it. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump into a competitive Modern League, with no testing. Never played it before. I've obviously played Battle of Wits before, and I've played lots of Belcher lists before. But we're just going to see how it goes. We're here for a fun time. I have it on good authority that this deck can go 2-3 in a league. So if we get 3 wins, that's a success. If we get 2 wins, par for the course. What are our upsides? Our upsides are we're really good against mill decks, which we already saw with the other Battle Blitz video. It's a little harder to interact with our combos. You need Graveyard Hate. You need a way to stop Belcher. What else? We have lots of ways to pick up cards. We have pretty decent suite of interactive cards, especially with Karns. Cards into Furies, ways to remove things. So we're not just like dead in the water to creature decks or anything like that. Oh, there it went. So here we are. We are starting game 1, hopefully. There, it's loading. We're doing it. My phone's blowing up because my son doesn't have school tomorrow. It's too cold. I got a text from the school, a text from my brother-in-law, a call from the school, a text from the teacher, and a remind. Anyways, is this hand keepable? A lot of one-ofs for this kind of deck. Let's see. I guess we have land, talisman, bloom. We have no win con, not really interaction. Is there a better 6? I think so. Unearth is pretty dead. And Thoracle is also pretty dead. I mean, it can block and it can kind of scry, but I don't think it's worth keeping. This hand doesn't do a whole lot. But we have ramp and we have mana. We have all our Grixis colors. I feel like I have to keep this just in case we want white. So I want white, black, red. This I'm probably casting. I think I ditched the Spikefield Hazard or the Strike It Rich. I guess the Strike It Rich, as of now, we don't actually have a way to spend the ramp. So I could lead on Hazard into either of the untapped sources, Talisman, and then cast Rush. Demonic Tutors is asking for up to anything silly and saying they are the silly police. I'm not sure how well the text shows up on a YouTube. Oh wow, we drew another Glasswing Grace. Actually, let's lead on that. I just realized that. I'll just keep the Spikefield Hazard. I think they're gonna... Demonic Tutors obviously knows the format really well. And I wouldn't be surprised if he quickly realizes we're playing both Battle of Wits and Belcher in the same deck. Looks like he's... I wonder if he's on straight blue-red or if he's on like a Jeskai control list. I'm trying to remember what kind of decks he tends to play. Let's get the red source. We're doubling up on red, which we need for the rush to resolve. We need red off the talisman and off here. I'm obviously blue mana works too, but we don't have any blue lands. By not leading on the Spikefield Hazard, we had to play the red here, but we already have a black source, so looking pretty good on mana colors. Interesting to draw a chill. Pretty useless. If we're against a control list, this will probably be a pretty long game. I think we can grind pretty good. Pretty well. The fun part of all your lands being spells is that you have a lot of options, and if the opponent isn't killing you quickly, eventually, like, control decks can flood, can get to the point where like their lands, right, are blank in a top deck situation. We are favored once both decks are top decking because our top decks can be removal spells or potential threats. Or, you know, like this can just be a win con once something's in the graveyard, but I don't think we need to bolt ourselves here. I'm not in a rush to resolve this rush. That was fun to say. Oh, I can't shock myself to get it anyways because I need the other red source, so yeah. We'll play this tapped, we'll pass it back, let them just sit here. I mean, they countered a talisman, which is pretty aggressive use of counterspell, but I think he is concerned about what we could be doing. It's just like this counterspell could hit Battle of Wits or whatever else we're casting, so it's interesting to lead so aggressively on it. But we also don't know their hand. Like I said, Demonic Tutors obviously knows what he's doing in the format. If I'm on stream... I'll ask him if he's alive. Jolted awake. Okay. Guess we technically could jolt awake this talisman. I think we're just gonna go ahead and try to resolve Rush on their turn. Saying hi to Demonic Tutor's stream. Yeah, Captain of the Fun Police. Ragavan is usually that. He asked if we're playing Belcher and Battle of Wits, so I admitted to such. Oh, cool. We discarded the Jolt of the Wake, which right now is a pretty useless card in our hand. Do we want to fell this? Recross. What a madman I am. I can play Solar Transformer to set for recross next turn. I could just chill to gain some life and actually drain them. I don't think we want to let Raggy go uncontested, but I think we want to play that in their turn. I'll go ahead and play this out. Although it is a tutor, I guess maybe I should have thought about that. What instant cards? I didn't even think to look at that as a tutor. Lots of interaction. I don't think we have a win con. I guess it could go get call, which can go get a creature, right? But we'll try this. I assume this gets countered, but you know, we need him to counter things. Words. We need him to counter spell things eventually, and at least we'd rather him use counter spells on our lands essentially than our win cons. So I guess we have to transform next turn. I'm not looking forward to trying to resolve this spell. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, this sends me a signal that although he has 5 cards in hand, he likely only has 1 or maybe 2 counterspells. He wants to be able to have counterspell backup to hit our stuff, which is wise, right? If I was on his end, I'd be doing the same thing. But we don't have anything worth resolving yet. Oh, it would be fun to just like cast a Pyretic Ritual and see what he does. Oh, I didn't play land. Do I want to play this? Yeah. I'd have to like naturally draw a spy and then have it countered and then try to cast this for 6 mana for it to like be worth keeping in my hand. So I think we're just doing that. I guess I could have bolted this in and tried to chill, but that doesn't change our life total if it resolves and only puts them down to 11. Like, we're not really going to win with combat damage, I don't think, so. I just said I hope you have a counterspell. Here we go. Part of me thinks he's just going to let this resolve to watch me try to resolve it on MTGO. The good thing about this is, like, recross, you can click any order for the rest of the cards. Like, selective memory, you have to actually click every single card. Recross, you can just click, I want this card, this card, this card, this card, and then the rest can be any order. But he has Snap Counterspell, which is pretty legit. I guess playing this out as a 2/2, he likely has things like discharge and stuff. I think we'll just go ahead and try to resolve the chill at this point. If we do happen to get our graveyard line, right, like they're very much within range of dying to Vengefines and Creeping Chills, so. I wish selective memory had a select all button, and then it wouldn't be as bad as it is. That's part of why I'm not playing. It would make sense to just play like three selective memory in the main, one on the side, or something like that. I just put the one in there so that sometimes with Bring to Light, if that's our only option, that is a win con. Against, like they're playing Rest in Peace. So I can't just go get Belcher of Spy, and I don't have another turn. So I have to have a win con that turn. I guess, no, it's still another turn. Never mind. Because we're just playing this out as a 2-2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have potentially 7 mana. I can't play both even. Waterlogged Teachings. What can it get? I guess there are... I guess I'd want to get like a Galv Blast. I want to go ahead and try to cast this. I think that's fine. And maybe just play this out as a land. It means we're taking a hit from this Ragavan if this doesn't resolve. If it does resolve, I think we're just getting like a Galv Discharge. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, so now the option is like, do I hold this to have it as a blocker next turn, or do I play it out? I think I'm going to play it out. I might be wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're at 7 mana, but we're not going to be able to cast a Whir. We also can't do War Gates or Calls. No green sources has been rough. He took away our Transformer, obviously, with the Flame of Anor. 4 damage a turn means we got a 4 turn clock here, but he's also, like, ramping. So the Exile. At least he has no targets for that. It would have been not that great of a draw because we can't. Bouncing Ragavan, right, isn't very effective. He can just dash it in. It's a lot of mana now, though. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. This is like a Murktide or something. I assume he has some other threat besides these, but he might be on like a kind of hard control list with just Ragavan and Snap, which I like. I like that idea. My MTG seems to be lagging. It is at almost 3 gigs memory, so whatever they did to fix the lag has not stuck or been super effective. Unfortunately. We are now technically up on clock. Oh, he's offspringing a Thundertrap Trainer. He's going to get his best card in the top 4 and then do that again. So we got a counter spell. He's not going to cast this. And Lightning Bolt. It's just wizards. Okay, well, let's draw something good. That's not it. I can't get myself a basic forest, which would be nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess we'll give it 8, 9. They have 9. So it's like we only really have one more turn, and we know they have a counter spell, so I don't think we really have an out at this point. Unfortunately. Our one out could be like we're holding cards in our hand, they don't know what they are, they have no idea what our deck can do fully, they know we're playing combos. And we could maybe resolve a... I doubt they'll let Wrath of the Skies hit, but I guess we could draw Supreme Verdict exactly. It is a 1-of, but it costs blue, white, white, which we have. Can't be countered unless they're holding exactly Sink into Stupor. It would wipe the board and kind of give us a couple more turns of drawing cards to get there. But if he has another Bolt, we are dead, unfortunately. He exiled a Lab Maniac, which he might just cast as a threat. Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, we have one out and 230 cards. We are less than 0.5% to draw it. Maybe he lets Wrath of the Skies resolve. Maybe I bait him with this. I don't really need to pay any mana with this, but we'll do this anyway. And then afterwards I'll cast this just to like, he'll be like, what is he casting? So, counterspell? I wonder if he's still holding a force negation this whole time. Oh, I targeted my own land. Whatever. Okay. We don't really have a sideboard, so we get to just hit submit. Maybe we bring in this, honestly. I don't think Fae Wishes is really going to resolve to go get it. So maybe we just bring in the spells that we'd want with Fae. Leave one Fae here, maybe. I don't really want to resolve Selected Memory. Yeah, we'll do that. Fae's a 1/4 at least. It could block most of his threats. Maybe Fae's still better just as a 1/4 than some of the other stuff in her deck. I don't know. We're not really playing like dead cards. They're all like part of a combo. Force negation. Honestly, it's more about stopping other people's combos. It doesn't really protect a lot of our stuff. I don't really know where I ended. I thought I dragged this out. There we go. I would love to like see what he's saying on stream, but not only is it rude to watch someone stream snipe, as it were, it also like doesn't make for good content if I'm on their stream while recording a video, obviously. But I'll probably watch his replay just to see his thoughts and reactions to what I'm doing. We have some play for sure. We're not dead in the water. Maybe I'm supposed to mull a little more aggressively, but I feel like going down to 5 is just so hard in a deck that's, 5 color, and most of my lands aren't even dual lands, so. Working back-to-back cold days. 2 days? Oh, 2 days off. Oh, that's interesting. Tell that to the Officer of Blood Moon. We technically can function under Blood Moon, not everything we do, though. This is a keep. It's not till turn 4 Spy, and obviously that won't resolve under a Blood Moon, but we get to, like, I think we're just going to turn 1 Tune. Maybe we'll see one of our Talismans or other rampity cards. We awkwardly don't have a red source, so all of our like Strike It Rich and Rituals don't really help either. I don't have red or green, so even like Manamorphose can't be cast. It definitely seems like the biggest problem with playing a Battle of Wits 5 color non-land deck is that we don't have a lot of that's awkward. Our opponent has their Graveyard Hate for our Spy combo. I mean, we kind of showed them. They saw Jolted Awake and they saw Glasswing Grace, so I'm not surprised. I guess we'll have to witch it before we go off, so to speak. I guess I'll tune first just in case we hit a red or green source. No. So we'll play this out. We're probably just going to play Trawler as a threat. I think we're going to just lean into our lands being spells. Aggressively. If we keep them answering our cards versus deploying their own threats, it gives us some hope. We also can just target them with Spy. I mean, I don't know. It feeds their snap, so I guess we don't really want to do that. What do I want to play here? I don't think I'm ever resolving this. At this point, I don't need double black. So I'm just going to go like this. Next turn, I'll try to Witch Enchanter this, followed by Spy, with Pact back up, and hope. Hope. Do a lot of hoping here. Do. They are playing their own threat. Definitely a line I've taken many times, playing blue, white, or Jeskai control. If they offer the trade, I think we just take it. We are down on life total, and they have lots of removal, whereas we don't. We do currently have removal, but it's not what our deck is good at. I also have to bolt myself again. No attack would be strange. I guess it's just efficiently playing him out as a blocker. If this gets countered, this might pick it up, so I think we'll actually just use the other Trawler because we're playing another threat out. We're like trading a threat land for a threat land here. This isn't actually better than Trawler, but it's better in this instance where we want to kill this. So he pops it in response, draws a card. We'll see. Yep. Because we have another threat out, I think I'll just offer the trade. And we'll see what he does. I'd love to see him have Blood Moon now because it would mean he can't cast this card Counterspell or Force Negation the hard way. But it doesn't seem like we're going to see Blood Moon. What are we doing over here with 1 blue mana? Preordaining? He said twin people. Didn't feel like a twin list. Yeah. He said I'm here to twin people and Blood Moon people. I guess he could have just been holding. I'm trying to think back on all the turns. He might have been holding an Exarch the whole time and not really played it because we were kind of forcing him to interact most turns. But no, we passed. There were a couple turns we just passed playing a land or whatever. Tamio, yeah, it's a Wizards list. I don't believe that he's playing twin. We'll see if I'm right when I get to go back and look at what he's playing. Seen Wizards plus Monkey. Blue-red tempo list. So not even 1 blue up. Subtlety. Yeah, I think we'll just try to jam it. What's the worst that could happen? We lose, you know? And that is what it is. The fun part here is if this does resolve, he gets to see our entire deck. Just how crazy we are. Maybe he's gonna hopes to like counter something else. He's gonna counter the trigger. No, sir. I would rather you not do that. Por favor. I don't think he expected the good old Pact of Negation. The 12 damage from what's it called? Creeping Chills plus Vengevine should definitely do it here. Oh my gosh. It's so slow. It's trying its best. Okay. I have to hit yes every time, but that's not the worst in the world. Here we go. Yes. Let's get all these swords up here. Let's be really careful. I don't want to ever start hitting OK when MTGO is lagging, because I don't want to pass into my combat step, because then I will lose. Won't technically lose the game on the spot, but certainly won't win it. Like right now, I don't want to hit OK. Okay. It's funny, I just said OK. Thank our opponent for conceding and not forcing us to click through the Savage Titan line. Obviously, he could see that we had the swords in play, we had Savage Titan in the graveyard, and understands how the oops combo works. So, appreciate that, Mr. Demonic Tutors. I don't think he'll ever actually watch this, but if anybody on the stream happens to end up watching this, appreciate him being a gentleman there. Overall, I think Magic has pretty good streamers as far as their personality, demeanor, play with each other and with other members of the community. I don't really count myself as a content creator just yet. I'm still just a wannabe gamer dad who posts videos, but you know, Spike. I played against Spike and who was he with? Young Dingo, right? They were doing like a New Year's stream together, and good. It's just fun when people are good sports while playing a game where there's always a loser, right? Which can be hard, right? When you're losing a lot, it can be hard to be a good sport, but the game is so much more enjoyable with the community and interactive aspect of it being good that, like, I think it's worth being not diligent but intentional to like have a good time and interact with opponents. This hand is unfortunately really clunky. Karn's actually pretty nice in this matchup, but not being able to cast any spell in our hand and only having 2 red sources is just, I think, too clunky to keep. We got to keep some iffy hands, but that's pretty bad. I think we get rid of Fae here. We'll just keep all the ramp and hope he doesn't deploy a threat really soon. The turn 2 Snapcaster might get us. Turn 1 Tamio. Yep. Well, it's not gonna be good for us. Oh, hey, it's the old battle. I doubt this will ever resolve, but I guess I technically could have subtletied this, but I don't think it was worth losing our 1 of 2 lands. I guess right now I might subtlety something with Battle of Wits. Will I subtlety that? I suppose. I don't think Battle of Wits is ever going to resolve, and if this is beating down, we don't really have time. Whereas this, hopefully, by setting this back, hopefully we have some turns. He might also have Consign, and could consign the ETB trigger on Subtlety, which would be bad for us. I don't know what else he'd have, because Stern Scolding doesn't hit it. So I assume we're going to see Consign here. Oh, nope. It was just Soul Guy Lantern. He gets to make his clue token. Doom, 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 doom. So I think we'll lead on... Talismans are good if he happens to have a Blood Moon in hand. He says as he draws another one. Okay, no more Talismans. We're good. We're good for now. We have blue-black, so I'll go for red-white, I guess. And then we'll go for green-blue, and then... I guess blue-black? I don't know. Need double red or for anything that I can think of. The one like mana symbol we need the most of in the deck is black for Beseech. Overall, the deck's built pretty well to just kind of be one mana symbol on the cards we want to cast, right? Wrath is double white, Whir is triple blue, and maybe I should switch this. Green seems to be the hardest one to get in the deck, but so we have double white on a couple things. But yeah, most of the stuff we want to resolve is not too difficult to splash. Surprised not to see the dash. I guess he's holding up a counterspell here, so that makes sense. He kind of has at least the combo line covered. Can't afford to ever play this as a threat, so we're just gonna play it out. We're just gonna talisman it up. If he counters this, that's kind of fine. If he doesn't, we go for another one. Got Tal's army over here. I mean, we're in trouble, obviously. They have a threat, they have card advantage, and all we have is mana. To be fair, we do actually have all our colors. And we can't actually cast Beseech right now. But I think other than that, we can cast everything in the deck, which is nice. Which wasn't true the past couple games. We've had issues where, like, you know, various cards would have just been dead draws. So, I have that upside here. We can't cast, like, Garden or Turn Tibber or whatever. Or Agathemes. We could even cast Shatterskull after resolving this Talisman. Maybe I should have led on this one to have more outs to this Ragavan. What is he exiled? I haven't been looking. He hit Blood-Soaked Insight. Cast that for 3. 1, 2, 3. I mean, he's red. So red. I mean, if I were him, I would have cast it. That'd be fun. But he's not here for fun. He's here to beat us. He's down to 2 cards, but he also has clue tokens. I am still at 15 life. We haven't done a lot of damage to ourselves. We know for a fact he has counterspell now. We assumed he had it before. Our graveyard line is not a win con, so like drawing a spy isn't lethal right now. Even Beseech, if we could cast it, we'd have to go get Belcher and hope it survives a turn. I did play a Sink into Stupor, which does help us a little bit. Vengevine. I mean, I guess we give it ye old college try, as they say. I think it's worth taking the 1 damage to try to resolve a threat. The question here is, do we actually just attack? Because he only has 3, we have 4. Or do we play defense with the Ragavan? I think we attack. Let's force him to have an answer for Vengevine. If he just has a bunch of counter spells. I mean, obviously he can chump it a couple times, so he doesn't have anything. He could trade with it if he leaves both Ragavan and Thundertrap back, which I'm happy with that trade. So I think let's be aggressive. Let's got to fetch again. If he has like a preordain here, he could flip Tomio. To be fair, in watching Demonic Tutors, although I think he's a good content creator and player, definitely a good player, I do think he's the kind of person where he was having a lot of fun. We won a game, and now he isn't responding. So I hope he's not reacting in the way of like, if we lose to this junk, you know, kind of stuff. But I haven't watched a ton of his content. But that's usually because I like more interesting lists, and he tends to play. It's funny because Aspiring Spike doesn't play, like, he kind of fits his name. Like, he aspires to be a Spike, but mostly makes bad decks look good, or janky or fun decks look cool and look viable. He plussed, right? Whereas Demonic Tutors, I think, usually is just playing one of the best decks, you know, to his preference, not just like, number 1 deck, I'm going to play it every time, for sure. I guess we'll just, you know, Give it the old college try. Please counterspell this. Although, like I said, this isn't as bad to resolve as Selected Memory. Okay. Options. We can hit him down to 6. We can hit Tamio down to 1. We can leave Vengevine back to play defense. I assume we took out a lot of removal. It's hard if I just knew what I was going to draw. I guess I'm not really too worried about him alting. So it's a 3-turn clock against his life total, assuming he's not blocking. With this out, he has a +2 to 6, +2 to 8. So we'll play that game. I think this turn he's going to leave back a blocker. I don't think he's going to keep swinging for 3. I assume Thundertrap stays back and Ragavan hits us. I didn't even look at what Ragavan hit last turn. Agadeems. Should pay attention to that. Oh, sorry, I should mute my mic real quick. Okay. I mean, he has 6 cards in hand and can pick up a counterspell, so it seems like maybe he's sided out of a lot of removal. To be fair, if he just stopped attacking, he can offer a trade, which, because we have no cards in hand and he has a handful of nonsense and has a Tamio, I think just benefits him. So I think he should just leave his creatures. Yeah, here we go. It's got more blockers. But I feel like if he just leaves his creatures back, eventually Tamio alts, and at that point, even if he still doesn't have removal for Vengevine, he can just overpower me on the board. He seems to have been very particular about attacking with Ragavan every turn, though. Again, I don't know his hand. I mean, I assume there's at least one counterspell in there, probably multiples. He got Flame, so now he can Flame Vengevine, as well as draw 2 cards or hit one of our Talisman if he so desires. Suppose if he hits the Conviction one, we have no white mana, which turns off X number of cards in our deck, but looks like he chose to draw 2. Shocks in land, huh. I guess he's going to have 3 mana after the Ragavan attack. Yeah, Flame of Manor is a great hit there for the Wizards deck. Very powerful card. One of the reasons to play Wizards. So we gotta really hope to top deck well. This will make us top deck really well, but it's not gonna resolve. Yep. So we basically only have one more draw. Or no, we actually only have one more draw, because these do 4. I doubt we're going to resolve anything. We're in a spot again where we can't even resolve a Supreme Verdict, unfortunately. And next turn you can alt the Tamio, which gives them, what is it? You draw cards equal to half the numbers. So we'll get to draw 19 cards. Wishing best of luck. Seeing good games. I don't know that we have an alt out. I just want to see what we draw. Yeah. We're not really great into lots of counterspells. I think, like I said, if they had no threat. There's a Belcher. That's fun. We'll give the old cast and then concede to the counterspell. Okie dokie. Well, that was fun. And we'll go ahead and jump into another game here. Here we are, ready for match 2 against Russell Wilson. Are you the Pittsburgh? Steelers quarterback? I think I've actually played against Russell Wilson before online because like a while ago, and I think I remember asking if he was the Seattle Seahawks quarterback. Unfortunately, any land that's not a blue source. This would be a great hand. Beseech. I think unfortunately we have to mull. We obviously have a lot of hits. We have 2 green sources, but we have kind of a black source. Oh no, we have a blue source. Okay, yeah, this is a keep. We'll get rid of the Lab Maniac. This is a turn 3 spy, so this is like just as good as playing 64 card oops that we were playing back in the day. I mean, look at this, statistically. We are against some form of affinity. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. No creature. Huh. But this is going to generate some pretty big dudes pretty quickly. Another. Yeah, I think we'll just lead on the tapped land. We unfortunately have to play Transformer because we need a black source, so we're going to bolt Transformer, and then turn 3 we can bolt ourselves again and hope to kill them. They're unfortunately not going to do any damage to themselves. But it looks like they're only going to have... Okay, they got 1, maybe 2 blockers. Well, these sagas are going to... Well, let's just hope he doesn't get graveyard hate. It's a perfect curve. Will we be dead? I think we might just be dead. 7 this turn. Next turn he gets to swing with 8 and 7. Yeah, I think we're unfortunately dead. I'm trying to think of a way that this doesn't just kill us. Yeah. Because we have to bolt ourselves again to actually get this off. I want to see what he gets off the Urza Saga. All he sees right now is that we play a bunch of mana and aren't playing lands. Sometimes people don't look at the deck size. Obviously playing in paper that would be unavoidable, but I am curious. Makes this, equips it using the Memnite, and swings for the Weevil. I mean, right now, even if he didn't give it haste, we can't bolt ourselves anyway, so. The Shadow Spear, okay. He's not privy to the, I think again, like, the chance to hit this with a, Bring to Light versus the 4 mana, then 3 mana to get it with Fae. We'll switch that to the main. Like that. Fae of Wishes does block. Let's just take out Selective Memory. I don't feel like resolving that today. Could cut this down to 40. 240. I do think if you wanted to try to make this competitive that maybe trying to go 4 color is the line, or 3 color even. It's hard though because the only way you really make Battle of Wits consistent is adding the tutors, but maybe you just kind of go all in on black tutor cards, the graveyard line, and then like blue Belcher cards. What does this hand do? Let's see, we got board wipe that we can't currently cast, but we have Witch Enchanter, a bolt I can't cast. I think this is unfortunately as close to keep what we're gonna. I think I'm gonna play out Jawari and maybe we I don't think we really ever want to cast this on their cards, but because it just gives them 2 artifacts. Kind of want to cast it on our own card, but I don't really have one I'm going to be able to cast it on. I just realized I can't play Witch Enchanter because I'd have to play it as a white source to cast it, which I can't do, so that's awkward. Play that tapped. Yeah, I hope to just draw like a white blue talisman or something. I don't think there's any card we put the cast on. Maybe a thought, not thought scour, thought cast. If that's like their last card. 2 cards in hand. I don't know. I don't think that that's worth it. With the 4 cards in hand, it just means that like this is gonna let them empty their hand more often than not. Double drum, ornithopter. No Saga's nice. So we draw one of our spies or something. Another green source. Definitely being hurt by the lands. These, bolt lands just aren't great at playing a multicolor deck. We need 2 black to cast Fel of Profane. We need 2 white to cast Supreme Verdict. We have no red sources. Yeah. I mean, sure. I guess that's fine. I don't know what you're looking at, opponent. Good luck. I guess take the Supreme Verdict. Yeah. Even though I literally have 0 white sources out. I mean, I have 1 white source, I suppose, but also could have just taken our white source. We're unlikely to be able to cast anything. They don't really have a threat, which is nice. Beseech the Mirror, so I guess we're playing... Otherwise you put it into your hand. Okay. So I could draw another black source to cast this, a red source to cast this. I can't cast like Bridgework Battle and then offer it because I need a target on our side of the board. I wish I had a spell to offer. In fact, if I draw a red source, I'm probably just bolting and offering the bolt so that then we can beseech the next turn and win. Maybe we do that. Maybe we just draw a red source. Awkward. I can't exile this. I'm not going to bolt myself because I want to just use ending on the token essentially. It's going to make a construct token and I'm just going to ending that. Should we draw another white source? Like Eldamari's Call, or not Eldamari's Call, Emiria's Call. I play 2 calls in this deck, I just realized. Swing for 2, yep. I'm just sitting over here with uncastable cards, don't mind me. I suppose I guess I made a mistake. I should have bolted myself, cast ending, and offered it. Can I still do that? Do I have enough to win this turn? I have 2 blockers. Cast this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 treasure token. Beseech the second treasure token. They have a land drop. Yep, that is the line. Let's hope they're not playing the improvised counterspell. Thought I... MTGO, why are you so slow? One of these days this will resolve. Just doesn't bode well for resolving the oops combo this turn, but hopefully it picks up. Yay, it's moving. I'm gonna go ahead and quit. Oh, they held up counter magic. Well, that's unfortunate for us. Oh, wait. Whatever you do, never put your phone number into one of those websites about getting new windows or a new roof. They call you forever. Are we dead? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We might still be alive. That's unfortunate. I wonder if they had the spell pierce the whole time. If we had tried it the turn before, maybe we would have gotten away with it. Oh yeah, because that one haste. Never mind. We're dead. Well, we still have a chance to win too. That is our goal. Hopefully we have some quick gains again. Here we go, game 3. Let's get a win with Belcher of Wits. Oops, Belcher of Wits. Salva, MTG. We do have the mana color issue here. No black mana isn't great. We can resolve this. Green source resolves the recross. We'll keep. This does cast a lot of our draws. Maybe we're supposed to mull. No black source is rough, but I like Teferi. Fleet on Jwari. Look at our opponent only playing 60 cards in their deck. Oh, we drew another blue source. That means we could turn 2 this Thassa's Oracle if we wanted to. Into turn 3 Teferi. Flooded Strand. Hopefully they're like a Goryo's combo deck or something. And not just blue-white control. It does feel like... I don't know what happened. It's like, oh, Energy is one of the best decks in the format. And then all of a sudden I'm just every deck I face is playing Force of Negation. Our opponent last game might have even been playing Force of Negation. The blue seems to be the way Affinity has gone. They just had one of their most aggressive draws game 1, and then game 2, not as aggressive, but like Saga is one of their best cards, obviously. Feels like we're playing another counterspell deck. Oh boy. Thassa's Oracle. Na, 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 na. What is this card from? Is that Fae of Wishes? I'd like this to be Battle of Wits. Oh. I always forget that you have to pick one on top. They're gonna Solitude this? Wow. It's a great trade for us. We put a call on the bottom of our deck that we can't cast. We kept the prismatic ending top, which we at least try to cast, and we got 2 cards. Excuse me. Out of the opponent's hand. This one is relevant. Solitude, somewhat relevant. Ooh, Jeskai. So they might have Flage, so It'll at least be a faster game than the Wizards matchup. Want to face decks that aren't playing Counterspell and also don't kill me on turn 3. Like that Affinity matchup, we had the turn 3 win, but we were dead before we could resolve it, and that's just not always true. Narset is relevant. Oh, they got another Narset. Because now our Teferi can't draw a card. I don't really want to Galvanic Discharge it because he's likely going to use it and then play the other one anyway. So I'll just try to resolve Teferi now, because if it does resolve, it turns off half their deck. He likely plays Discharge as well, so we want to keep him high and healthy if we can. Teferi is our best anti-counterspell card. Maybe we're just going to cast Pinnacle Monk, I don't know. Guess I only have one red source. Could also just draw a green source. Play Recross, set up a good old Reforge. Is Reforge 1 red when you... Come on, MTG, you can do it. I should have restarted before I started the league after looking at the deck for a while. 1 and a red. Yeah. But we need another red for rituals. Ritual. Our opponent is thinking real hard over there. Come on, we don't need the really, really long game again. Even with all the lag, I've managed to be, I think, faster on clock than our opponents. They're digging again. They're going to get a card. They're going to cast this other Narset, I feel like. I got a Prismatic Ending. Our Tef. Hurry. Teferi. He's furry. Makes me wish I minused him, I guess, but we forced him to kind of dig for that at least. Definitely playing a red source out here. I think it's just this one. I don't think we're using this against them. I guess it's definitely better to use against this deck than against the Affinity deck. And it could protect this recross. They got a haul. They played their second Narset. We're going to activate that Narset. I don't want to offer that. Force negation. I haven't seen any Bring to Light, but right now we don't want it because no green source. Another Prismatic Ending. Interesting. Can we just draw Belcher because they only have blue, red, white? Like they don't have a way to make a fourth color that we know of. Nope. More green cards that aren't green sources. I suppose I could just discharge this now. I feel like that's probably worth it. If they have Flage, we want to keep ending for that versus this. This keeps them off of one card at least. Gets that out of play. Look, we're Jeskai 2. We are the worst Jeskai deck so far. Probably have more I win cards than they do, though. Interesting, we've seen no green or black sources. What's the math on that? I have a lot of black sources. We have tapped black sources, 3 different full play sets. Makes my offer useless, so why not? Might as well try it. I kind of hope they just counterspell my offer to push in this Teferi, thinking that we look more like a blue Belcher list that's splashing right now, so this Teferi resolving doesn't really do much, but I wanted this. I wanted to counter a counterspell with offer, and I managed to do that in response to Teferi, essentially. So, decent trade-off. That's why I played it the way I did. Okay, you're really funny, deck. What are the chances of drawing 3 of a single card in a deck of 250 cards? You know what time it is. It's math time. Math time. 249. There are only 4 of them. Ooh, not 44. Even if there were 44, this seems low. We're not doing anything. Simple size, we've seen what? 20 cards? Not even. 14 and 9. 23 cards. Let's say 25 even. What are the chances of you hitting 3? 0.00338. Less than 0.4. So 0.3%. 0.3% chance that we draw these. What did they do last turn? Oh, I got hit by the Hall. Yeah, it's gonna kill us real quick, isn't it? 7/7. Guess we'll just try to cast this as a blocker. They can't prismatic it, but it dies to Bolt and Golf Blast and Solitude. So I guess whatever they do to kill it means I'm not dying to this turn. What does it have? Word something 3. Very hard to remove. Stop. I will block. Right, it doesn't have evasion. Doesn't look like a giant. It just looks like ruins. Hall of Storm Giants. I feel like that could have looked a lot cooler. Not that the art is bad. The artist made a really cool thing, but it doesn't really, like Johann Voss, no diss to you, but it doesn't look like a Hall of Storm Giants. I guess we play this, see if it resolves, and just try to draw a card off of it. 3 recross, 0.3% chance. It's insane. Like, I don't think we're ever going to draw 3 of a 4 of, like, probably ever again. We saw 2 of the glass wings in that one list, but, like what's the difference between 2 and 3? 0.3 versus a 5% chance. Like 5%? Okay. Oh. Just go to second main. I'm not, just let me minus this thing. Give me green source. Well, that is technically a green source. If I wait till next turn, I have 1 life, so I can't actually like draw an untapped source. Then, like, if we wait till next turn, recross is useless because we can't draw the top card of our deck. Now we technically could with Tune the Narrative, but Miracle only triggers on the first card you draw of the turn, correct? That's the whole point of Miracle. You can't set it up. Yeah. So I could set it, I can't set up for like I can't even cast Miracle because of Teferi. So never mind. All these are dead because of this. So I don't think it's worth. I don't have any outs to this Hall of Storm Giants. Here we are playing this game. That's not very good. Let's do that. The 15 card limit on the sideboard exists because of a deck like this, so that you couldn't play like 10 decks and just sideboard down to the best deck against your opponent. You can have as many cards as you want in the main deck, but you can never have more than 15 in your sideboard. And that's why when we played the 64 or 67 card list, we played only 8 cards in the sideboard because we wanted to take 7 cards out. You can't sideboard up above 15. Which it would be funny, honestly, if essentially the best thing to do as a competitive player was throw away game 1, bring a deck that's 10 decks or 6 decks, mash together, and then just sideboard down to a deck. Because then what happens if everyone's doing that? Like if everyone just has 6 or 7 decks, and then it's like, well, which deck are they going to play? Like then the game 1s would become very interesting. And then game 2 and 3 is a game of like cat and mouse of like, what deck are you going to cut down to versus what deck I'm going to cut down to. I'm in for that, but obviously that's not a great experience for new players, or most people wouldn't find that interesting. I'm going to keep this hand can actually, cast its spells for the most part. Vengefine is dead, but we get to consider, hopefully dig for a black or red or green source. I mean, I guess we're only on 2 colors here, but I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to mull for our Talisman hand and try to set up for turn 3 win, because that's probably our best bet against control, but yeah, I don't know. Without like a pack, like the one game we won, it was with Pact Negation, right? It feels like we want that a lot in these matchups, and it's just unlikely that we have it. Been seeing a lot of Prismatic Ending and Witch Enchanter, right? Those seem to be in our top 10 cards every game. In fact, this is we cast Venge, so much of this is so similar to games we've already played. It's interesting. MTGO Shuffler. Hey, look at that hit. Look at that hit. That's fun. Surveil a Creeping Chill. What are the chances? 100% chance, by the way, because it's what happened. So it would happen 100% of the time. That's just math, guys. It's just plain old math. Ooh, that's fun with Narset. Well, Subtlety. Maybe I keep this. Like play out the call next turn. Come on, what you doing there, Bozo Majo? Oh, MTGO. All Google Chrome is using 300 megs. You're using 3,000 to 300 megs. Killing me, Smalls. Apparently just bought 20 faux form pom-poms for hats. Who knew? Okay, our opponent took a long time to just play land there. It seems like they are also laggy. Which is unfortunate for what would be a grinding matchup anyway, to like have both players lagging. It's such a poopy experience. It doesn't make great content either, so I apologize. Ooh, Rush of Inspiration. I think that means we want to play this out. Like that. We'll hold up Subtlety just in case they play like Teferi. It does turn off a lot of our deck. I guess we can also just Prismatic it. See, I think we're just going to rush pretty much no matter what. Hope to discard the Vengefine, and maybe we can trigger it somehow. Do I care about Narset? Or we'll definitely do this in response, because otherwise we won't be able to draw. We discarded the Solar Transformer. Okay, double Vengefine. Interesting. Didn't get another blue card, and opponent passed the turn. Don't think that was on purpose. I think we'll go ahead and bolt and just cast this as a 2/2. Since we get to play our Morph land. Obviously would love a red source or another green source. Seems to be the story, right? With the deck. Again, you're playing a bunch of lands that only tap for one color. The 2-color lands only come in tapped. It's a pretty big handicap when trying to play 5 colors. So maybe I do want to try to build the list with 4 colors just to add some consistency to it. Question is what color. It's hard because it feels like the best color to cut is actually red. But if we cut red, that makes recross useless. Not useless, but I don't think there's a recross line that can win without red mana. I guess I could recross with just Manamorphose. Like I'm not recrossing on turn 2, which is always like all the weird piles for blue-red or for red-green Belcher. Consider. I guess I can cast this. Oh, you poop. Can't draw it though because of dumb things. Guess I should have exiled this first. That's frustrating. To Wargate next turn, so I'm going to play out the Witch Enchanter now. Because we could have counterspell for this, didn't even consider that. As an option, force negation, exiling another Narset. Okay. Wargate for 1 or 0. I was thinking just go get a Lotus Bloom, but now I'm like, I'm not sure. Not sure exactly. What we can get. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I guess with one more mana, we could go get. I mean, Wargate's probably not going to resolve, is really what's going to happen, but. It somehow did. Another Narset, jeez. I can't just get a red land, unfortunately. Or a green one. Might as well just do this. I assume it's not going to resolve. I actually would really like to hit this solar transformer. We could have like tried to cast these Vengevines in this discharge. The Rush of Inspiration. Green mana, green mana. Yeah, I could have used it 3 times. Or cast the Subtlety, I suppose. It's a flying 3/3. Anyway. It is what it is. I don't think we're resolving another spell. We'll give it another turn or 2. Narset and Teferi really cripple a lot of the things our deck can do anyway. Yikes, I got a Daze Undoing. Strip her hand in a second here. At the same time, our hand is just a bunch of dead spells, so they're going to have us draw at least 1 spell. Oh, I just realized I have 2 blue sources. I should have. Wow. Misplay. Subtlety should have been in play already. My bad. I don't know why I looked at this as a white source. I mostly have used it as a blue source historically. Narset will get to draw 1 card. Teferi. Oh, he's not Daze Undoing. Interesting. Must hold up interaction instead. Because they have 7 cards in hand, so it doesn't really benefit them at this point. Oh, Days Undoing now because of Teferi. So we have 0 cards. Cool. Okay, I can't even respond. I can't flash in subtlety. I just have to have 0 cards. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're really going to resolve anything. These two guys working together, and then he already has a haul, so like he'll eventually beat us down. But we still have a chance to win too, but that will unfortunately have to be another day. I will post a link to the list in the description. If you're a mad, crazy lad like myself and want to give it a try, let me know. And obviously there's plenty of things you could switch out and change when you're playing with this many cards, and maybe cut the energy package and try other interaction or better draw cards or some more. I feel like maybe the deck just wants like chromatic lanterns and more talisman in it on average, but we'll see. There's a lot of ways to go with it. Have a great day.